What's up, everybody? Welcome back to another Madden 21 Connected Player Lock Franchise Series. That's what we're going to call it. It is Week 10, and the New York Jets are coming off a Week 9 bye week. And here in Week 10, they will travel to the city of high elevation, Denver, Colorado, to Broncos country to take on the 3-5 Denver Broncos. Philip Lindsay, his last game was a really good one. 21 carries for 97 yards and 2 touchdowns. And right now, the Jets are coming into this game 2 weeks ago off a loss. Now here's the weather here today. 53 degrees here in Denver, Colorado. A beautiful day, but it is a windy afternoon here in Denver, Colorado. You guys saw 13 to 16 mile per hour winds, and we're going to see wind gusts up to 32 miles per hour. As Denver got a field goal on their first possession, and here is Owen Phillips. You know, he has been red hot, really, ever since his poor start the first 2 weeks of the season. And here is Ronald Jones, and I think the key thing to kind of keep note is that Ronald Jones, you know, he went down 2 weeks ago against Baltimore before the bye, and when he went down, and while he was out, he did return, but while he was out, the running game had probably its best stretch of football this entire season. As 3rd down and 9, we're going to see Matthew Foster make the catch. That's going to be enough for a first down. But that's something to really keep in mind as we go through this game. It's kind of just seeing, can we get that same type of success when Ronald Jones is in the game as Ben Colvin picks up 3 yards on first down? So far this year, for most of this season, it's been a struggle to run the football, and there goes Ronald Jones to the 50-yard line, and that is going to be a gain of 12, you know. And here's a false start on 1st down 10 from the 50, and now we're going to be on our own 45-yard line, you know. 1st down 15 from the 45, it's going to be a handoff to Ben Colvin. He picks up about 3 yards on the play. Second down 12 from the 48-yard line. Owens in the shotgun. And it's going to be a blitz being sent from the Denver Broncos. It won't matter, but Justice Jackson gets popped after making the catch. And it seemed like to me it was Bobby Wagner was the one that laid the hit. Justice Jackson fumbled it, and it was a turnover. Oh, gosh, man. And there goes Ronald Jones, and he picks up a gain of about 9 yards on the play. 2nd down and inches. I mean, Justice Jackson has had a tough month of football. He really has. And there goes Ben Colvin, and he couldn't win that matchup one-on-one with the guy trying to tackle him. And now it's 3rd and inches after a gain of nothing. 3rd and inches, and I think 3rd and inches is going to turn into 3rd and 5 after a false start. This one was called on James Estrada, our right guard. 3rd down and 5, and there goes Owen Phillips to Christopher Herndon the 4th. He's actually had a very underrated season. He's had a quiet year, but it's been good. It's a good quiet year. He just hasn't really had the notoriety that Matthew Foster and Denzel Mims has gotten, you know. But even those guys, I would say, haven't really gotten the notoriety or recognition for their play. But that was good right from Christopher Herndon the 4th, and that's Justin Simmons. He just ran that route on. 1st down 10, and there goes Ronald Jones in the flat, and he's going to pick up a 1st down. Owen Phillips is 6 for 6 to open up this game. 6 for 6. I mean, he is playing big-time football, and he's been playing big-time football really ever since that game. I wouldn't say that. I was about to say that game, but the first 2 games of the year. 2nd down and 5 from the 37-yard line. Here comes Ronald Jones with a gain of 5 yards. You know, and right now the running game it's gotten off to a pretty slow start. 3rd down and inches, goal line set, and Owen said, "I'm just gonna take it myself." He picks up 1 yard, and 1 yard is enough for a 1st down. Owen Phillips signals 1st down. Owens in the shotgun here after picking up that 1st down. And it's going to be 1st down 10 from 31, and he's going to find Christopher Herndon the 4th underneath, picking up a gain of 7. So I'm about to say 2nd down and 3. Sorry, this might sound a little bit rough. 2nd down and 3, and Ronald Jones runs into, I believe that was Max Sharping he just ran into. And he doesn't pick up the first down, which he probably should have picked it up on that play, as the first quarter just comes to an end. It is a 3-0 hole for the New York Jets. 3rd down 2 from the 23-yard line. Ben Colvin, I think he rolled to a first down, and I honestly think if he didn't roll for that first down, I don't think he would have gotten it. 1st down 10 from the 20-yard line. Owen has time. He rolls out to his left, and he finds Dante Burnett down to the 2-yard line, and that was a big play for this New York Jets offense. Great job by Owen with being calm in the pocket and finding time, and also great play from Dante Burnett as we only get a yard on 1st down and goal. 2nd down and goal from the 1. Owens in the shotgun. He's going to drop back. He's going to fire with the middle field. And he's going to find Matthew Foster, the 2nd-year man from Florida. Finds the end zone for the 4th time this year. Touchdown, New York. Matthew Foster. He's having a really good year. He's been big time this year, you know, and he's taken some steps forward, but really he came into the league last year was a 1,000-yard receiver, and he's having another great season as Denver on their next offensive possession, as you guys can tell, put up 7 points. It was a big play that led to that 7 points. You guys see Ronald Jones, a slow start for him. 1st down 10 from the 31-yard line. That's where this drive will start. And there goes Ben Colvin. That's actually a solid gain of 9 yards. 2nd down and 1 from the 40-yard line. After the gain of 9, it's going to be another handoff to Ben Colvin. He has space up the middle of the field. Ben Colvin picking up a gain of 16 yards. Down to the 45-yard line. Ben Colvin woke up, I was about to say last week, but 2 weeks ago against the Baltimore Ravens before the bye week. And it seems like he might start to wake up here on this drive. 1st down 10 from the 45. Owens in the shotgun. He finds Denzel Mims for a gain of 20. That's Denzel Mims' first catch of the ball game. His contract is up after this season, and we just paid one of our starting edge rushers nearly $15 million. And there goes Ben Colvin. That's a gain of about 8 yards. The guy I'm talking about is Quinnen Williams. I'll show you guys that next episode. 2nd down 2 from the 17-yard line, and that's going to be a gain of 2. That's going to be enough for a 1st down on that play. 1st down 10 from the 15. Owens in the shotgun, and moved a little bit too far to the left, and Von Miller, the future Hall of Famer, put a lick on Owen Phillips, and the pass fell incomplete. Ronald Jones, only a gain of 1 on 2nd down and 10. 3rd down and 10, probably just a half a yard. 3rd down 10 from the 14, and Owen Phillips finds Dante Burnett. He made a big play last drive. He makes a big play to get to the end zone. Touchdown, New York. Dante Burnett. And it looked like to me Denver sent pressure, and a great job by this offensive line picking up the blitz. And the blitz seemed like to me left the middle of the field wide open, and Dante Burnett took advantage of it, and he high steps like Deion Sanders into the end zone, and it is now a 14-10 game. Shout out to the defense. The defense forces a stop, and we're nearing halftime, and the Jets are up 14-10 in this ball game. And Owen Phillips has been tremendous. He has thrown already his 15th and 16th touchdown passes of the season. 1st down 10 from the 13-yard line. Ben Colvin is going to pick up 0 yards on the play. And I think the one thing we need to see more from Ben Colvin, he needs to stay up the field a lot more, and stop trying to dance around, just like Matthew Foster. He picks up a 1st down, 3 catches for 21 yards. And it seems like there is an injury on the field for the Denver Broncos. I think it's one of their defensive tackles. He's not going to he's not going to go to the locker room, but he is going to just head off the field and get checked out by the medical staff. And what a hit from Bobby Wagner. Gain of 7 though on a good play. 2nd down and 3, and Ronald Jones picks up about 2 yards. And Henning is shaking up on the play. He's going to head off the field. And I think Denver's hoping that he's all right. And he's not going to head back to the locker room, but Courtland Sutton's there to check up on him. And now it's a 1st down 10. They did give him a 1st down. I did not think it was a 1st down. Owen Phillips, and he tried to go to Matthew Foster, incomplete. The ball was just a little bit too far out in front, but that was good pocket awareness, though. Pretty good pocket awareness. Ben Colvin picks up 3 yards on the play, and I would definitely say the Jets' running game seems like it has picked up where it left off in Baltimore. 3rd down and 7, and Denzel Mims does reel in the catch. And that is enough for a 1st down at the 47-yard line. Less than a minute and a half left to go here in this first half, and Ronald Jones throwing catch on the screen pass leads to a gain of 8. And Owen Phillips has been tremendous today. He has been outstanding here in this game. He's really been outstanding over these last couple of ball games. Really over these last 6 coming into this week. 3rd down and 1 from the 39. And Owen Phillips, he drops back. He's going to find Denzel Mims. And that is a gain. That is a gain of, that's a gain of 8. Excuse me. 1st down 10 from the 31. And Matthew Foster does a great job coming back to the football. He makes the catch. And down to the 15. The Jets are now inside the red zone. 2 timeouts left. And Matthew Foster did get out of bounds, so that's why the clock stopped. And that's great defense by Bobby Wagner. He should be a guy that's going to go to the Hall of Fame. And there goes Ronald Jones. He gets up the field, and he's going to pick up a gain of 6. And there is a timeout that's going to be used by Denver, by the Jets. And Owen tries to go over the middle of the field, and Justice Jackson can't hold on to the football. And he's had a tough stretch. And I mean, not a good first half from him, but he's dropped a lot of passes over the last couple of games. He dropped one against the Philadelphia Eagles. He dropped a few against Baltimore. I mean, it's been tough, and obviously he's fumbled it here today. And Tyler Taylor, on a day where it is a windy one. It is a windy afternoon, as I said in the beginning, here in Denver, Colorado. He does drill it, and from close range, and it's a 17-10 game here at the half. And let's take a look here at the scores around the league. You guys see Dallas, was able to find a way to get it done against the Miami Dolphins. The Miami Dolphins season is nearly laid to bed. At this point, Russell Wilson and the Seahawks are struggling against the Los Angeles Rams. Excuse me. And the Buffalo Bills, they took on the Patriots in Foxborough, and the Bills moved to 7-2, and that's huge for them because they next week have a big game against the New York Giants on the road, and that's 7-2 versus 7-2, when you're playing against good teams like that, you want to get the games that you're supposed to win, and that should be an exciting matchup for everybody to watch, Giants versus Bills, But here's the stats, and looking at some of these numbers, it doesn't really make sense to me how the Jets are only up by 7. They should be up by a lot more points, when their quarterback's playing this well. I mean, obviously the turnover hurt. The turnover did hurt, without question. Let's head to the second half. Now, quick note here is this. In the third quarter, the Jets will be heading into the win in the third quarter. In the fourth quarter, they will have the wind at their back. Just a little quick side note. I'll see you guys for the start of the third quarter. Welcome here to the second half here, everybody. As I said at the end of the first half, at the end of us looking at the halftime stats, as Ronald Jones, I think he didn't even get a yard. Yeah, again, a nothing. Here in this third quarter, we're going into the teeth of the wind, and the wind has picked up a little bit here since the start of the football game, since kickoff. And there is Christopher Herndon, the fourth, making a catch. That's a game of nearly 10. That's a near first down, 3rd down and inches. And Ronald Jones, he does enough to pick up a first down, but so far it's been a pretty slow start. And that does raise a question of, like, hey, is the running game better when he's not on the field? And I believe that was Denzel Mims who just made the catch on 1st down and 10. Gain of 8. Owen Phillips has been tremendous. Really ever since week 2. He got off to a slow start this year. 3 touchdowns, 4 picks. Ever since then, I mean, this guy's been tremendous. He really, truly has. You know, and this team is starting to find its groove offensively. You know, but the defense is giving up some big plays here today. But surprisingly, they only gave up 10 points. As Ben Colvin has had a good game so far. 12 carries for 56 yards for Ben Colvin. That's going to be enough for a first down. First down 10 from the 49-yard line. As Owen finds Christopher Herndon, the 4th, over the middle of the field again. And he picks up a first down. 4 catches for 45 yards for Christopher Herndon. First down 10, Owen was under center, and Ronald Jones uses a little bit of strength to pick up 4 yards. I think most of those yards were pretty much after contact. You know, and by the way, just to let you guys know, the Rams are winning in Seattle. They're trying to move to 5-4. 2nd down 6 from the 32, and Ben Colvin seemed like he didn't have much energy at all. I don't know if he's playing with an injury or anything like that. You wouldn't really think that because you had a week to rest because of the bye. 3rd down and 4, and good defense from the Denver Broncos. Incomplete. We did get a field goal, but the Denver Broncos got a touchdown. And like I said, we're going into the teeth of the win, so that means Denver has the win at their back here in the 3rd quarter. We will have the win at our back in the 4th quarter, and you guys see the numbers. Owen Phillips, tremendous. You know, but Denver just got a touchdown on their last offensive possession. If I'm the Jets, you got to figure out a way to get some points at least. Doesn't mean a touchdown. As you guys saw, we just picked up a first down. I believe that throw was to Denzel Mims there. And there goes Ronald Jones. And great job by the guys on the left side for the Denver defense. Bradley Chubb and those guys. You know. 2nd down and 8. 2nd down 8 from the 38. And Denzel Mims makes the catch. And I think he should have enough for a first down. He does. Gain of 8. Ben Colvin picks up nothing. I thought he picked up a yard, but the ref said he didn't pick up a yard. 2nd down 10 from the 46-yard line. And Owen Phillips going to find Jeff Smith quickly on the out route. And that's going to be enough for a first down. Charles Omenihu, Rashawn Gary, Quentin Williams, who, by the way, we paid nearly $15 million a season for a guy that hasn't made one Pro Bowl yet. But Quentin Williams has actually had a really good season. Ronald Jones hasn't had a good season, but he does pick up a first down. You know, all I'm hoping for is that we at least see a semblance of what we saw in week 8. And Denzel Mims had a good game in week 8. He's had a good game again here this afternoon in Denver. And that is going to be enough for a first down. The Jets offense is now inside the red zone. And Denzel Mims, 7 catches for 93 yards. He's been big time, you know. He's been big time. He's been making big plays for this offense all day long. And you guys see the throw. Seems like Owen Phillips has done a good job of handling the wind here in this game. First down 10 from the 19, and Ronald Jones keeps it to the outside, and he picks up 8. And you guys see we are now in the 4th quarter. 2nd down and 3 as we open up the 4th at the Denver 11. And there goes Matthew Foster with the catch. That's going to be enough for a first down, 24-29 for 274 for Owen Phillips. And now at the 5-yard line, Owen Phillips, he's going to hand off to Ronald Jones. Rojo picks up 4. He's playing a little bit better here in the second half so far. 2nd down, goal from the 1. Owen drops back, and there was pressure, and he couldn't get a clean throw off. Incomplete. 3rd down, goal, quick snap, and it's going to be Ben Colvin punching it in. Touchdown, New York. And this has definitely been one of our better days in the red zone this year. 4th rushing touchdown, which leads the team Ben Colvin, a mid-round draft pick, has been probably one of our best red zone threats this year in terms of running the football. 12 plays, 75 yards, a little bit over 6 minutes on the drive. But Denver did get points on their last drive. They did. 10 minutes and 22 seconds left to go here in the fourth quarter. And the day that Owen Phillips has had, he's been outstanding. He's been unbelievable here in this game. He really, truly has. First down 10 from the 23. There goes Owen Phillips, handing it off to Rojo. He can't really gain much of anything. Second down 10 from the 13. Owen Phillips, and it seems like nobody's open, and he doesn't really have many decisions, and he's going to get called for intentional grounding. You know, there was really not many places he could have thrown that football. Nobody was open. Just great coverage from the Denver secondary. And in this spot and in this moment of the game, one thing you just can't afford is a turnover. And Matthew Foster, he makes a tough catch over the middle, but this is going to be another punt for the Jets offense. And Denver, on their next offensive possession, score a touchdown. It's a tie game, ladies and gentlemen. And this game very well could go down to the wire. It's shaping up to be a classic. And Justice Jackson, man, has this kid struggled. But he's young. I believe in him. But, you know, the hands have got to get better. And on second down 10, no one picks up Bobby Wagner. Nobody. Third down and 12. And the one thing the Jets don't want to do, obviously, is give the football back to the Broncos, who have hit big plays all throughout this game and who has gotten hot. Third down 12, Dante Burnett makes a huge play, but he's shaking up on the play, holding his back. He's gonna get helped off the field, and he is now on the sideline. And Rojo loses a yard. The running game has definitely slowed down, and as you see, it's not a major injury for Dante Burnett, which is luckily for for the Jets, but luckily for the Jets as well. Second down and 11, there is a penalty on the field, and pass interference was called. They matched up Denzel Mims with that linebacker. That's a matchup I think anybody would give Denzel Mims 10 times out of 10. Second down 6 from the 39-yard line, and nobody was open. Ben Colvin received a pass into the flat, 27-34 for over 300 yards. Owen has gone over 300 yards a lot over these last couple of games. Third down and 4 from the 37-yard line. And the pass is incomplete. The flat seemed to be open to me. The flat seemed like it was open, and they're going to go for it. Is John Matty, what is he? Is he okay? But they're going to let this thing hit the 2-minute warning. Are they still thinking about going for it? The answer is no. This is going to be a 51-yard field goal. The wind is at our back now, and Tyler Taylor puts it right down the middle. And the Jets take a 3-point lead with less than 2 minutes left to go here in the fourth quarter. But it gets still 4th and 3 for the Denver Broncos. Let's tune into the defense. 4th and 3. And our defense can't get off the field to close it out. And it gets to 5 seconds left. 51-yard field goal. Wind. They're going into the teeth of the wind, and Will Lutz boots it. Wow. Were they going? I mean, was the wind at his back? I mean, I understand that in football stadiums, the wind can swirl to a certain extent, but that didn't look like the wind they were at the teeth of the wind at all, you know. And as you guys see, the wind hasn't updated at any point. And whoa. The Jets kick. I mean, usually most teams, I don't know if there's a miscommunication or anything like that, but that's odd, you know. Third down and 11 here from the 42-yard line, and the Jets defense gets a stop. So, you know, now it's sudden death. Next score wins this football game. Next score wins. Next score wins the football game. 28-35 for 311 yards, 2 touchdowns, not a single pick. I mean, Owen Phillips has been tremendous, man. First down 10 from the 22-yard line, and the pass is caught. And that is Denzel Mims with the reception. And they have already ran the ball for over 110 yards here in this game, and they add a yard to that. I definitely would say in the second half, we have slowed down in the running game. And third down and 1, it's Jared Wilkins picking up a gain of 2. That's going to be enough for a first down. I definitely would say our running game has not been the same here in the second half as it was in the first half. First down 10 from the 34-yard line. Matthew Foster, and Owen was late with the football in that play, but it doesn't matter. And that is going to be enough for a first down. Owen's got to be a little bit more precise with his timing on that one. Because if he was a second later on that one, that probably is going to be a pick. And probably could have been game over. But instead, it's now second down and 2 after a gain of 8 from Denzel Mims. Second down and 2 from the 46-yard line. And there goes Ronald Jones. I don't know why he made a juke, but he stayed mainly north and south. And that's what we want from our running backs. He picks up a first down. I believe that was a gain of 9. And there's a penalty flag on the field. And this is going to be called a false start. And this could easily, very well, derail this drive. And you just can't have penalties like this in this type of a moment, in this kind of game. And Von Miller, he's been close so many times today. But he did not get a sack, but it is an incomplete pass. And on 2nd and 15, Ronald Jones has nowhere to go. He loses a yard. 3rd and 16, the Denver Broncos have came up with some big plays here on this drive. 3rd and 16, and Owen tried to get it to Matthew Foster. That one could have easily been picked off. And the Jets are forced to punt. But the Broncos didn't do anything on their last possession. It was a punt from Braden Mann that pinned them, and Denver didn't do anything. And Denver's offensive line gave up a couple sacks. That's why the Jets have such great field position. And also, let's also mention this. The Broncos are heading into the teeth of this win. We have to win at our back, as Ben Colvin has now came up with a huge run up the middle of the field. And now it's just time to just waste the clock, waste some time, maybe get a couple extra yards, maybe center it to a certain extent, you know. 2nd down and 8, and there goes Matthew Foster with a gain of about 6-7 yards, and that's the last time out for the Denver Broncos. 3rd down and 1, and the main thing you want to do is hold on to the football. Ben Colvin got popped. Overall, he's had a very solid game. Now let's go take a look back to the game, to really the week heading into week 6. Well, the practices heading into week 6. Tyler Taylor was struggling. You know, he was struggling with his accuracy in terms of his kicking, obviously. You know, he was putting in some extra time in. You know, and he's done a great job ever since. And he has a chance to have his first ever game winner, and he puts it through the uprights. And the Jets are gonna get their 5th win of the year, 33-30. And Tyler Taylor, you know, he struggled mightily. You know, he had a missed extra point, a missed field goal in that Titans loss. You know, and he missed 2 kicks against the Raiders. This kid, you know, ever since week 5 has kicked the ball fantastically for this football team. And now he just kicked his first ever game winner of his career. What a football game this has been. This was an instant classic. You know, definitely some things we got to get better at without question. But this was a big time win. We needed to get this victory. I mean, needed to get this one. There is no doubt. I mean, we had to have this one. And now a couple things. The defense in the second half, in terms of run defense, wasn't that great. Even though we did have overtime, and they did get some of those yards in overtime. So okay. So I think for 4 quarters we did a good job in stopping the run. Our big plays were a problem in this game, but I think the only thing that really did save us was our pass rush. And I think really the battle up front on both sides of the ball. And really, no matter how you really want to look at it, you know, I think we were the ones that won the battle. You know, on the offensive line did a great job against their front 7. and our front seven in terms of getting stopped, in terms of slowing down the running game and getting pressure on Drew Lock. You know, we did a good job of that, and I think that was really the key to this game. Now let's take a look at some games around the league. The Chiefs are going to move to 7-2. You know, Patrick Mahomes, 3 touchdowns, not a single interception. You know, Marcus Mariota, you know, found a way to get it done against the Titans. The Bills, you know, as I said during the halftime show, are now 7-2. Josh Allen, 279 through the air, a touchdown, a pick, and a fantastic game for Joe Burrow, but that was in a losing effort. 357 through the air, a touchdown, and no picks. Not much more you could ask this guy to do. Maybe do better on certain down situations, but you can't really put all that blame on number 9. You just can't. You know? And the Green Bay Packers, you know, they've been doing a great job this year too. Now here's some of the games around the league. I think really the game, if there were fans, I think the fans and people would want to see is obviously the Bills and the Giants. You know, the Bills and the Giants is a game I think everybody would love to see. I think in 4 o'clock window, I think really the game to watch is probably our game. I think our game is probably the game that I think everybody would want to watch. Now here's some of the awards: MVP and Offensive Player of the Year. You guys see no Owen Phillips. You know, we have 2 Jets players for the Defensive Player of the Year voting, which is great. Offensive Rookie of the Year, Ben Colvin. That would be nice to get him up there. You know, Justice Jackson's in the top 10. I don't know how the hell that happened. Best quarterback, okay. Owen's in that conversation, which is great. You know, because he deserves it. You know, he's big time. You know, Matthew Foster, you know, best receiver, which is great. You know, I expect Matthew Foster, if he can stay healthy and if he could continue up at least good production, and especially same thing for Quentin Williams, who I believe reached at least 7+ sacks this year. I expect both of those 2 guys, especially if we're in playoff contention, I expect Pro Bowl selections for both of those 2. And Tyler Taylor should be higher on this list for best kicker in the AFC. He should be higher up on this list. He should be higher. You know, he should be higher on this list in my opinion. Now, I was going to go over the roster, but we already did that in the week 2 episode going into week 3. Hope you guys liked the video. Please like, comment, and subscribe, and I'll catch you guys next time. Have a great day. Peace.